This news update is brought to you by This is the 6 p.m. Barbados Today update for Wednesday, September the 10th, 2014. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. The much-awaited duty-free concessions that will be available next week will have conditions. Industry officials have been anxiously awaiting for nearly a year now to receive the similar tax relief of that given to sandals, hotels and resorts. But Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair told the BHTA's quarterly meeting this morning that they must adhere to 7 conditions. Failure to do so, he says, will see the preferential treatment being removed for repeat offenders or penalties imposed.
1. That hotel properties accessing these benefits must be approved tourism products or products in receipt of valid license issued by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism. Now, the benefits to be given to the hotels and our operators, hotels and or the operator, but for the specific purpose of hotel operations to ensure that the intention of the government to make hotels super competitive is realized. 3, that each hotel will be required to provide the Ministry of Tourism with an information leaflet or data set pertinent to the size of the plant, number of rooms, number of employees, etc., as well as the items usually imported, which should be provided electronically.
In addition, hoteliers will also have to file with the Ministry of Tourism all new imported items, inclusive of food and beverage. Properties will also be subjected to inspection to ensure that duty-free items are being used at the allotted locations. They must also agree to adopt AAA standards, train staff on the specific programs, as well as sign off on a memorandum of understanding with the Barbados Agricultural Society and the Barbados Manufacturers Association. But the M.O.U. stipulation is not sitting well with BHTA President Sunil Chatrani.
If you look at this from a bigger picture point of view, basically with, say, 500,000 plus tourists on the island at any given point in time, that's less than really 5% of the general public. So the consumption of fruits and vegetables and so on is really the locals are the ones that's doing that, not really the tourists. This is the industry that really drives the economy and generates the foreign currency. But I'm not saying to ignore the Manufacturers Association or the Barbados Agricultural Society. We support them, continue to support them, and always have been. What I don't want to happen is to go into negotiations as a condition, signing an M.O.U. or having to sign an M.O.U. to access these conditions. Sandals certainly didn't have to do this, so I don't think we should be expected to do it either.
Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on tourism Sansia Bradshaw saw the relief benefiting hotels but disadvantaging off-property restaurants.
I think it has been long overdue. I think that the industry does welcome the concessions, and we have in the Labour Party been calling for them for some time. What I think is interesting is the response from a number of the members this morning, which is that on the one hand, it is welcome for the persons who obviously have the restaurants within the hotels, but for the persons who across Barbados, the restaurants are on the outside of the hotel sector, then you have a disparity in terms of what they're going to be able to offer in terms of the costs. And I think that it's a bit unfortunate that maybe the policy has not been fully thought out in terms of the implications of granting the concession in the way it was done this morning.
To the crime beat now. A man is in critical condition at the QEH following a shooting incident in Fitz Village in St. James today. According to Police Inspector Graham Husbands, the man was shot on the beach, but his name was being withheld up to news time.
11 or thereabout this morning, the police received a call of gunshots being fired in the area. The police responded. and on their arrival, a male was being transported in a private vehicle. That male is presently at the QEH, receiving medical attention. I cannot give you a name or anything like that. I'm still awaiting information from the hospital and so on.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
In sports, the International Cricket Council's recent crackdown on suspected chuckers has continued with the reporting of Bangladesh fast bowler Al-Amin Hossain. 24-year-old Hossain, who has been Bangladesh's best fast bowler on the ongoing tour of the West Indies, starred with the ball in the one-day internationals, which they lost, but he was not reported then by umpiring officials for any faulty action. Hossain was, however, reported for a suspect action following his team's 10-wicket loss to West Indies in the first test in St. Vincent that ended yesterday. Hossain is a sixth bowler and the first one who isn't an off-spinner to be reported by the ICC's match officials since July. Hossain will have to get his action tested within 21 days at an ICC-accredited facility. To news from the region now, the opposition in Belize is calling on the Minister of Education, Patrick Faber, to publicly account for his actions. It is alleged that the minister physically abused two women during a party at his house. One of the women, which reports say is in a relationship with the minister, told the police that he choked her and punched her in the face, but she later withdrew the complaint. As far as the police is concerned, the matter is closed, but the People's United Party Senator Lisa Showman says not so fast.
We believe that he owes a duty to the nation to explain what it was that happened in his home, and further for him to make a full statement to the police about the incident. And we also believe that it is incumbent on the police to interview all witnesses that were involved and to make a full investigation of what occurred, notwithstanding the fact that the complainant has allegedly withdrawn the report that was made.
And on the international scene, murder charges against a South Carolina father are pending following the discovery of the bodies of his 5 children. It is alleged that Timothy Ray Jones killed the children ages 1 to 8 and buried their bodies near an Alabama highway. The children were part of the National Missing Persons list a week ago after their mother said she couldn't contact Jones, her ex-husband. Jones, who was arrested in Mississippi on an unrelated offense, will be formally charged with the murders when he returns to South Carolina. And on that sad note, we end today's 6 p.m. Barbados Today update. We'll be back again at 7 in the morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook for the latest in news and sports. You can also catch us on Izume Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a wonderful evening.
This news update is brought to you by